What's up, everyone? This is the Demo Team Podcast. It is 3 days since the new Dance Gavin Dance album just came out. My name is Cash Spicer, recording here in Dallas, Texas, and just living in the aftermath of Afterburner. So, David, how did you like Afterburner?
I absolutely love this album, guys. Like this album is super refreshing from everything else. Like, like I said, some people might have thought, oh, Mothership, that was that was their magnum opus. It's probably gonna be, Mothership Part 2. Are they gonna top it? No, they came back. They took their sound and they took a bunch of experimental elements. They pushed the envelope on some sections, and they just came back with something new, man. This is great.
Shoot. What are your top 3 songs?
Top 3, I gotta say it's Parody Catharsis, Nothing Shameful, and Say Hi. It's gotta be Say Hi.
All right.
What about y'all?
So, Moses, I heard you hated the album.
No, actually. Actually, it might be my favorite Tillian album.
Ooh.
It's
right.
Badass. I love it. The band is, the album's like all over the place, but in a good way.
Absolutely.
Like I've said before, they were gonna dip into, so many different genres and try new things, and you can really tell just from listening to this record. I think that everyone in the band is on point and really has shining moments, like
Definitely.
all over the album.
Could not agree more.
But I think, I don't know, the biggest star in the album, and you might agree or disagree with me, is Tillian. Like, his vocal performance on the album is so amazing. He plays around with so many different vocal styles and just kind of flexes on everyone.
I think I agree with you.
Sorry, didn't mean to.
Tillian and Innovation are the winners of this one.
Yeah. So my top 3 songs would be Nothing Shameful, Parody Catharsis, and I don't know, the third one, there's so many runner-ups, and I can't believe that I picked this song, but the more I listen to it, the more I love it. Into the Sunset.
Oh, dude, great song.
and before I made that decision, I was gonna go with One in a Million,
Parallels, 1 Million's great too,
or even 3 Wishes. But like I said, the more I listened to Into the Sunset, I kind of fell in love with it and the sound. So
I can get that. It has a growing effect.
All right,
how about you, Ryan?
So on a binary scale, how would you rate this album, a 1 or a 0?
On a scale of 1 to 0,
0 to 1, not 1 to 0.
0 to 1. If it's either a 0 or a 1, I would have to say it's a definite hard, like very powerful 1, like a kind of 1 that would make MP Fantano blush.
Yeah.
Interesting. I would rate it a 4 on the 0 to 1 scale.
Well, that just shows that you don't know how to count. But in my opinion, though, on Afterburner, I would say this is probably like easily their most experimental, most freshest, most fun album that they have, that shows not only like a progression as an artist, but the fact that it's very obvious they went into the studio and had a lot of fun with this record. Definitely. It's the kind of fun that you would get on songs like Don't Tell Dave or like Rock Solid, where that it just feels like you're with the band on a journey, and it's like it's an experience. Because Afterburner, I would definitely say, is the most unique album in their entire discography. There ain't one album I can compare it to, and I gotta say I really enjoyed it. My top 3 would have to be Say Hi, Parallels, and that third one, man, it's hard to pick, but shit, if you put a gun to my head right now and I had to pick, Born to Fail. I gotta go with Born to Fail.
Interesting.
Nice.
All right. I actually had a take based off what you said, and it was like Artificial Selection. I think they made that album for themselves. Like, they wanted to make an album that they would really love, like with the music genres that they like. But then I think they made Afterburner for the fans. That's my take on it.
I would say the other way around. I felt
Really?
like Artificial Selection was more to please the listeners, not so much like their whole fan demographic, because
Yeah, no.
I felt like a lot of people weren't too happy with it, but with this one, I think it was more all about them and having fun and trying.
I mean, I think they were having fun,
like different things for sure.
I think
So
this,
I definitely think this album was for them.
I mean,
for sure.
I think the reason why they had all the tributes and they try to go more into like what's the modern. I don't necessarily want to say swancore, but like what that kind of grouping of music is. I think the reason why they kind of went more into like experimental in that area is because they wanted to like appeal to their fans, or not necessarily appeal, but they wanted to give the fans like something that they would really like. I think.
I mean, when you think about like the reaction that it's been getting, it's actually quite polarizing. Like,
oh, really?
People,
Yes, for sure.
yeah, there's people that
I don't see any negative
people,
reactions yet.
Really?
Yeah,
I think a
Vocal
lot,
minority is going to be more vocal, bro.
but I feel like the negative people just haven't given it enough listens. I think it'll grow on them, and they were probably just shocked with like how crazy and how experimental the band got.
That's true. They're probably like more Dance Gavin Dance purist, I would say, and they
need to have those post-hardcore purists that are gonna like reject anything that sounds different than what they want. Everyone had a different what Afterburner was inside their head, but I feel like the minority is always a little more vocal than the majority, and I would say like, based on like numbers alone, like YouTube numbers and the fact that the chart, like they climbed up the Apple charts and shit, I wouldn't say that minority that's being very vocal about their distaste, I don't think they speak for the vast majority that probably like it and are buying it and listening to it.
It beat out Fiona Apple's comeback.
Yeah, and that's for sure. But that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like it was more of a album where they kind of let loose and did what they wanted to do.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I mean, I think they did do it. I mean, I think that I guess my point was I thought Artificial Selection was the reason why they went towards like maybe pop punk stuff and things like that and more poppy things was because that was just stuff that they kind of wanted to do. Is more what I was saying versus like this one. I think they were trying to give the fans a thank you for 15 years and 10 great albums for supporting them for so long.
Weren't they quoted as saying like the songwriting, like the way they went at it is they tried to write every song like a single?
I didn't know that, but that's great.
I believe I heard that in a video once. Don't quote me. Pretty sure.
Maybe it was that Rock Sound interview.
Possibly. I don't have a top 3, by the way, either.
How dare you?
I'm still narrowing it down.
He's like, the first track to the last track. That's my top 3.
Prisoner is not going to be in my top 3.
Yeah, no. Agreed.
Prisoner is a great song. I love it, but I think maybe if it wasn't the first single or a single at all, maybe it would have caught me by like surprise and it would have been like in my top 3, but who knows?
All right.
But I don't know. I guess we're ready to like dive into it. How do you guys?
I guess there's something I kind of wanted to talk about before we like got into it. I guess I think people aren't really like talking about this as much as they should, but like this band's been around for 15 years. They've released 10 albums, and it's super unique. And I don't think people are giving the band enough credit for lasting this long and consistently releasing good music. And so I kind of did some research on this, and I tried to find bands who either lasted more than 15 years and still made good music, or had 10 albums and they were still good after 10 albums. And like the big 3 in that area would be the Rolling Stones, who after 10 albums they released Let It Bleed or Beggar's Banquet, considering what you consider an album or not, because it was kind of weird back in the 60s. And that was their 10th album, and those were still great. David Bowie, Station to Station, was his 10th album, which was really awesome that y'all should check out. It is basically him coked out the whole time in Berlin. And then the Beatles' 10th album was Yellow Submarine. And after that, there's really not a lot of bands who had like a 10th album that was really that notable the way Dance Gavin Dance had. After that, I looked for bands who were still releasing good music after 15 years. And I guess the big three out of those would be Radiohead, Red Hot Chili Peppers, and the Rolling Stones. So Dance Gavin Dance is in some really great company right now. The fact that they released a 10th album that's could easily be argued to be one of their very best albums, and lasted 15 years, even with lineup changes. And I think it's something I think needs to be appreciated more. So
I will say, yeah, that's a testament for their stamina, their staying power, their
yeah.
love for music and the creativity. Because
Definitely
some bands,
creativity.
And like, if you talk to any Dance Gavin Dance fan, like, they'll all have a different favorite album. That just shows like how great this band is. The way that they've been able to just consistently put out great albums over and over and over again. So,
and like I said, to not fall back on this is the part 2 of that last album y'all really loved. Here, we're giving you more of what you loved. No, it's new, more refreshing stuff, especially with this release.
they're always pushing the envelope.
Definitely.
Into the
They don't want to stay stagnant. They refuse to.
Exactly. Yeah, and I mean, most bands, if you took every band that ever existed, like, most of them probably didn't even last 5 years. So, yeah, it truly is a testament to them. And so,
especially for a band that's had like every reason that like they've come across like, multitude of reasons, like for like tons of bands that people love to this day have broken up over reasons Dance Gavin Dance has gone through. Like they've gone through every trope, they've gone through every cliche that bands have gone through that have broken up, but somehow
they survived.
Dance Gavin Dance continues to carry on, and that's admirable as fuck.
Mm-hmm. And not only are they like continuing, but I feel like they've really hit their stride where they're gonna keep putting out some like pretty amazing, groundbreaking content.
I mean, when people say they've hit their stride, I feel like they've hit their stride multiple times, though, is the thing. Like, this isn't like they've peaked after 15 years. It's not like Judas Priest in the 80s after being around for like 15 years. It's like this band has hit multiple strides on multiple occasions. They've adapted, they've learned, and they've gotten better musically for sure.
That's an interesting topic. Like, whether they've peaked, how many times they've peaked. But instead of waking them off, let's discuss how we're a prisoner to this band at this point.
Right. Let's move on to the track,
all right.
man.
Yeah, let's get it. All right.
So
David, that was a great transition.
We talked about Prisoner before. All right, so let's talk about Prisoner. I'm actually curious to see how you guys feel about it being the opener for the album. Now that there's, that you guys listened to it in full and there's more context, how do you feel about it as an opener, David?
Actually, yeah, I'd say it's a pretty decent opener. A good, nice, bouncy finish to really pull you in and pull that ear in. A nice punchy chorus. They have several, they have the funky elements, the heavy elements. It's a nice little gem to kind of give you a taste of their sound. Great opener. What do y'all think?
Ryan?
I feel like it's a great way to let you know, like, once you like dive into this album, that it's going to be a different ride. Because usually they'll hit you with some like slap happy, like Jesus H. Macy, Tree Village type shit to like let you know this is a Dance Gavin Dance record. But I feel like this time around they were letting you know that, hey, it's gonna be a kind of a different trip, man. Well, how about you just like settle down with us, relax, kick back, and enjoy the ride. That's what Afterburner is all about. But that's how I feel. I feel like it's a great opener because it does do that. It lets you know that Afterburner, this ain't your daddy's Dance Gavin Dance.
We know it's not Cash's favorite song, but has your opinion changed?
I've come around to it more, but what was that?
That's a loud-ass car. I apologize.
Yeah. All right. Anyways, yeah, I've come around to it more than I was before. I was colder on it, but I guess the other big thing, after listening to the whole album, I think we all had like a lot of theories about what the larger meaning of this album was, and I'm not quite sure there is one right now. I mean, we'll have to see what people come up with.
That.
Yeah, like everyone wanted to pin Prisoner to the album cover. I mean, I guess it was the first single. And yeah, I haven't seen any larger meeting quite yet, but I guess hit us up if y'all see anything.
Cash, can't you see that they're normal? Can't you see that he's normal?
We'll get there. We'll get there. I don't know, man. I think it was such a interesting pick for an opener. Like I
it was
really
interesting
get
for
it.
sure.
Like I love the song. It's almost, it comes off as more of like a standalone track to me. Like there's no cohesion between Prisoner and any of the other tracks on the album. So
Also,
I'd
I'll
really-
say that like a lot of people don't necessarily like it as an opener, but I do think it's a pretty fitting opener for the album. So
yeah,
I think it works pretty well.
It's a great opener in the sense of like, you know, it sets the tone to like this album's not gonna be like every song is gonna follow, you know, like the other song in sense of like format and style. Like I said, it's a standalone song. There's a couple of other songs on the album that feel like that, and I don't know. I guess that's why I think why I don't while I don't understand why it was an opener, I kind of get it as an opener in that sense.
Yeah,
like it really sets the tone of the album.
You're right, Ryan.
Yeah.
Did you fall out of the car?
Off your bike. Yeah.
He fell and he can't get up.
I would drop my phone when it's out of its case.
All right. You got anything else on? You got something else, David?
No, I was like, if y'all have anything else to say, if not, shoot, I think we could say
Go to
hi.
Lyric
Sly.
Say hi to David with the transitions. All right.
Hey.
Who wants to start with Lyric Sly?
Well, since we've talked about it before, like I don't really have much to say, but I do feel like there are a couple songs on the album that kind of glue the tracks together, like to kind of do make the album feel somewhat cohesive, and Lyric Sly is one of them to me. And that's all I have to say about that. How about you, Cash?
I think it's heavier in the context of the album, for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know how y'all feel about it, but that's how I feel.
I feel like that chorus on it's infectiously catchy, though.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness. This chorus is actually one of my favorite courses from the album, and some of the newer Italian stuff, period. I gotta say, it's really punching in your face. You even have chugging elements and really kinetic stuff.
It was just really, really nice to meet this song, you know?
It is a great chorus for sure.
It was.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a great it's a cool chorus. And I guess, do y'all have anything else to say? I got one more thing, but I think it's best for the end.
I'm glad what it taught me, you know?
I'm just gonna say I don't trust the lyrics, so.
You don't trust the lyrics?
Maybe it's a hint to certain lyrics on this album.
Well,
All right, you go ahead, David.
I'll just say that Lyric Sly is probably my favorite of the singles we got to get a taste of this album. Really good, you know. It's great. it's a great single, and
it is a good single.
And honestly, all I can just say I can't wait to see it in concert. Anyway.
So I guess what I want to say is kind of a transition, is that I think it's interesting that they had this song Lyric Sly, which talks about traveling and like being cultured or whatever, and then it goes into Calentamiento Global, which is, you know, their reggaeton. I think I did all right. Which, do y'all know what Calentamiento Global means?
Calentamiento Global?
Global warming.
Yeah.
It's fucking hot, so I think they're onto something, dude. I'm fucking roasting in California.
I don't think that's quite
toaster.
the meaning though that they are going for. I think it's supposed to be like the world's getting hot because it's so sexy, or is more of what they're going toward.
That girl's ass is making the world hotter, bro.
Exactly.
That's what I'm trying to say, bruh.
Yeah, literally, that's a lyric.
So
Strengthens global warming. That's actually one of my favorite lines from that. But no, that's Callum. I can't say that title. People are dubbing it
Calentamiento global.
Calentamiento.
It's bad. I took Spanish in high school, but I can't say it. But
I'm a quarter Mexican, so I can say calentamiento.
You're
Half
saying it
C.
wrong.
Okay, no, as people are dubbing it the Spanish song. No, I feel like this is a gem that really throws you into the idea that they're experimenting. They're throwing you into new elements. I think Tillian was the highlight here with his, Spanish singing. It was really interesting, and I found it interesting how John was, Tillian was kind of like the main thing here, but then when you get John, like they just go super, like I don't know. I just like that little mix up there. But shoot, what were y'all thinking about this track?
So, this is probably the song I was most excited for. In that Rock Sound interview back in March, Will hinted at them having a reggaeton song. Now, I feel like it's more of a salsa vibe than reggaeton. I think it's still a great track. I would even go to say that it's like the Smooth of our generation. You know that song by Carlos Santana and Ross Thomas?
You know how I was mentioning bands earlier who lasted more than 15 years? I was about to say Santana, but that would have been the Smooth album, whatever that one is.
but yeah, like it was interesting. I don't know what inspired them to do it. I know that like reggaeton made a huge comeback, and like I'm really into that genre, so it was kind of cool.
Moses,
for them. What's up?
Sorry, if anything, Moses, I would say like on lyric side they're talking about traveling and all that. Tillian wasn't trying to flex, but they flex it on this song. They've been traveling. They're like, they went to Japan and all these different places, and they're like, you know what, let's write a song in a different language,
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, it's also a great way to like change things up. So like going into like actual Tillian's vocals and stuff, I would say that like his pronunciation of like the Spanish words were about like 90% correct. It was cool. It was cool to see him like actually like make an effort of like speaking Spanish. And like I don't know if you're trying to cut me off, Cash, but I do speak Spanish. So
I mean, I speak a little Spanish too. I mean, I was kind of gonna say something along the lines of what you were saying, but I mean, are you done or?
But no.
Going.
So even though his pronunciation was good, I do feel like he might have wrote the lyrics in English and then just used Google Translate to translate them to Spanish. Because I feel like a Spanish like speaker and songwriter, like they would have if they were to write this song, it would come out totally different. Like when you take in like the way that Spanish people speak and also like the slang that they use. And
I completely agree with that
besides that like whole vibe, I think like John's parts of the song like make the song like really fun, because you got like almost like two different like polar opposite of like music genres like crashing into one. And I wouldn't mind if they did something like this in the future.
Yeah, I agree. Based off what you said, Moses, like I kind of agree. Like usually I wouldn't say I'm fluent in Spanish, but like I can figure out the meanings of the songs when I hear them. And this one was pretty hard to figure out what he was saying sometimes. And he kind of needs to work on his accent. I mean, like,
I've heard that about.
Well, I mean, like non-Spanish speaker like isn't gonna
I agree.
speak Spanish with an accent.
Oh, I know that.
As somebody who speaks English, like it's a valid attempt, and
I agree.
There's been a lot of English-speaking singers that have tried to like sing in Spanish and they completely butcher it. So like you could tell that he actually tried as well.
Yeah, I know. I think he probably actually took Spanish lessons and did make a really big effort, but his accent was a little weird, a little off-putting. That kind of, but granted, I'm mainly just know Mexican, like the Mexican accent, and like he's from Florida, so he might have been doing more of Cuban or Puerto Rican. So
I don't think he's doing an accent at all. I think
yeah.
he's speaking like
Well, I
he's
mean, I wasn't
saying
gonna
the words like he would say it. Like
yeah. I mean, he kind of is trying to do them, but not exactly. And but I didn't want to I didn't want to I didn't think he was doing an accent, but I didn't want to come across like I'm an expert on accents. I just knew it wasn't. It just sounded a little off to me, but I think it was a great song. Like I wouldn't say it's not gonna make my top 3, but I do like this song a lot, and it was a really cool that they went this route and made an effort in this way for sure.
oh,
I applaud the
one more
effort
thing
for sure.
to add. I really think the song would have benefited from a Will Swan rap verse. Like I think if they would have thrown in like a 808 reggaeton beat and he
That'd be cool.
like went off,
crazy.
oh man, the song would have been.
I think they would have cranked it up to like top 5 material. Right
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that idea.
Give me a Calientamiento Global Part 2 on a DGD 11. Ryan, do you have anything to say?
Oh yeah, definitely. I have things to say. I feel like this track, I feel like it holds a lot of weight on this album, and more than it just being like a casual like throwaway. I feel like with Dance Gavin Dance being on top of the mountain that they've put themselves on, that like they've invented this whole genre of swancore, and usually when you're like the innovator of something, you got to kind of put yourself a little above and beyond and push yourself to do things a little differently. And I think with the responsibility that they've mounted on themselves, creating their own festivals and shit like that, I feel like with this, not only does it push them to like show everybody, like not only do we take like the music aspect seriously, we're going to even push to experiment with the vocals and such. And I feel like that's like responsible like parents in a genre, because they're not resting on their laurels, and like I feel like that's good for them. It shows like maturity as the band. Like they're not going to just keep releasing the same album. And I feel like people comments on the accent and stuff. Like I feel like that stuff always kind of comes up when a non-fluent speaker does that, because like Buddy Nielsen did a similar thing on a Census Fail album. Justin Bieber did it, and I don't think it's anywhere near the level of Justin Bieber.
That's such a great point, man. Sorry
I
to
mean,
cut you off, but it's a really good point.
Yeah, it tends to be associated with people who step outside that box. But the fact that like Dance Gavin Dance has been on the scene for so long, and they know that they're trend setting. They're setting a trend right here, and they're letting people know like we're gonna experiment, we're gonna try different shit. And even if you look at it like from a Mexican Latin music standpoint, if this would even be considered even more experimental to them, because it's totally abstract way of approaching the language, if you think about it.
That's true, yeah. And I guess the other thing is like this is a very diverse genre. Like there's a lot of people from different ethnicities, nationalities involved in this genre. So it's like it's very good that they're pushing the boundaries in this way.
Yeah. I was gonna say like they're like think of like all the bands that like from like Mexico, or even like I know that there's a bunch of bands in like Brazil
like
that
Latin
are
mathcore is huge.
That are like exactly that are influenced by like mathcore and Midwestern emo. So I feel like this could be kind of like the gateway into like post-hardcore fans finding like music in other, in like southern countries, kind of like how they do with like, Japanese like math
and like in Europe as well.
If I could name drop a Spanish band, Avenues and Silhouettes was a band, like they weren't fluent English speakers, and they sang English lyrics, and it sounds like if it was an American dude singing this way, you'd be like, man, that's weird. Why are they singing like that? But it's weird to hear bands from countries where English isn't the fluent language, and they try to sing in English. So it's like, I can see, why people would complain, but at the same time, to me, that's very interesting that people would step out their comfort zone and push to try to be something in a different language.
Exactly. I guess a big example. I mean, like
Brian.
in the '80s, like the Clash and like the Smiths were huge in Spain and like Latin America, and like Latin America and like Spain and Portugal, like they've always been like on the very like edge of like what's cool in rock music, even if we don't really realize it, being like from English speaking countries.
Dude, the Clash thing in Spanish.
They did sing in Spanish, and I don't think Morrissey would do that, but because it's Morrissey, but Morrissey is like a huge deal in Latin America, so, and the Smiths, so, and they were pushing the genres back in the day.
That-
I wasn't saying shit.
Well, like, you know when in
Fly.
animes when they start singing in Spanish?
What?
In the Japanese, like sometimes, like, yeah, that's true though. In anime, like there'll be like a random English word. They'll be like, Tsukuro Zusikiri Maximum.
What is? Or yeah, like or in JoJo. JoJo's meme for the "Oh my God" thing. Like that's great.
And
I love
also,
that.
in anime, they always have the lyrics to the song in the opening sequence.
Those
So
are the
you could-
credits.
No, they a lot
you
of
mean,
times
like,
have a
scrolling
sing-along.
at the
They have
bottom?
a sing along with it sometimes. Sometimes it's the
yeah.
credits. You know it's true.
I
At least
know
in
what
the
you're
older
saying.
ones. At least in the older ones, like I was watching
Like,
Level Fighter G Gundam the other day, and they had, because you can tell when they're doing the lyrics because it changes to English whenever they hit the English stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
McDonald's.
I just want to say we're like on this point for a long time.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Well,
almost wish I had 3 wishes because I would
Yeah.
wish to like move on
Well,
to the next song.
one last thing I want to say is that when I was being hard on Tillian's accent, there's more for comprehension than it is me just being an asshole for making the effort. That's the thing. That's the other thing. So,
Apple.
but go ahead. Let's go to 3 wishes.
3 wishes.
3
All right,
wishes.
well, you know, we've talked about this song in the previous episode. Just wanted to add that it's one of the other songs that kind of glue the album together. It's got a good little poppy feel. It's really a beautiful song with a lot of pretty guitar parts, and I mentioned it before, but my favorite part is the intro. Like Tillian's melody, like the whole thing, Tim's bass line. You got like bongos in the drum beat, and then Will brings it together by making some offbeat noises with this little guitar.
Let's go.
This is another song I think sounds heavier in the context of the album. But the other thing was on episode 2, I was trying to think of what band it sounded like, and you said Coldplay, and we just went along with it. But I remember the band it was. It's Two Door Cinema Club. That's what this song sounds like.
I was actually gonna say the same thing.
Really?
It reminds me of it
Callback.
reminds me of Two Door Cinema Club. I also said Block Party, and it does
Yeah.
the vocal part of the chorus really does sound like later Coldplay, like when they were making like just anthem after anthems, like
The guitar
Like,
parts, I think, are old Two Door Cinema Club now.
for
I
sure.
can't get that out of my head at all.
Yeah, no, for sure. Just a lot of fast tremolo picking.
Yeah. And I think this
Block
one's
Party
still
did
one
it
of my
too.
favorites.
Block Party did it first.
Yeah, that's true. Block Party did do it first.
Block Party's the best.
I love Block Party.
You,
We got to have them on our next playlist.
Yes,
that's-
Silent Alarm.
You said 3 wishes is
Got
one of
that
your
on
favorites?
CD. Excuse me?
What about 3 wishes, David?
I was asking like Cash. You said it was one of your favorites.
Yeah, it's still like it. In the context of the album, like it might make my top 3 whenever I finally settle on that.
See, I couldn't say top 3, but no, it's definitely a polarizing track. But no, this is definitely what is it? Someone said it was a good glue for the album. No,
Yeah, Moses said that.
Yeah, if you listen from front to back, after the first few singles, yeah, it's like a light single to kind of, it has a lot of energy and it's really light and kind of, yeah, it really kind of catapults you along. And It's a nice little song. Some people would say it's filler, but no, I disagree. It's
It's
Not
definitely
at
not
all.
filler. Yeah.
Not at all, man.
Dude,
It's a
it's just
strong
hitters
track.
on this album so far.
I-
Bangers only.
it has a lot of charm, I think.
Bangers only from now on.
Afterbanger, bro. Isn't that the name of the album?
Afterbanger.
See, yeah, a track like this, I think it's 1 in a million of like the stuff they usually put out.
Wait, we didn't get to Ryan yet.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Slow down, slow your roll.
And I enjoyed Three Wishes myself. To be honest, to be quite honest, I enjoy it. It's just a really fun track. You know, like I could echo everything I said like the first time when we went over it, but in the context of the album, I say like it just keeps the hype train going. You know, like there's so much more fun and stuff ahead, and this song just lets you know that like we're on that ride, baby. We're gonna burn all night.
It is.
You know, it's like a nice like light. It kind of lightens the mood. Like I mean, like it's kind of an interesting choice of the first 4 songs. You get Prisoner, which is pretty different from a lot of the other earlier Dance Gavin Dance stuff. Lyrics Lie, which is both pretty heavy but also pretty light at the same time. And then you get Calentamiento Global, and that's
one of the deeper cuts.
I mean, I wouldn't say a deeper cut, but I think people are gonna celebrate that one for years. But that's like that's their Latin track, and then you get this one, which is like you're pretty much an indie rock song with screaming in it.
God, I love it.
Yeah.
Really interesting decisions, but yeah, they really just threw everything at us to start out.
A nice
What
little
about that
track.
1 in a million though, bro?
Took no prisoners. All right.
So yeah, 1 in a million, man. Talk about powerful intro. I dig that little part, but I really enjoy the verses and the chorus. Like Tillian's almost kind of singing in an R&B style, which he does a lot on this record. I get I don't know, Summertime Gladness feels from it, and like the outro of the song is like an amazing mesh of both clean and unclean vocals. I saw somebody on Reddit describe the song as if Variation and Summertime Gladness had a baby, which I kind of get that when you consider the intro.
I can resonate with that.
Oh, do tell.
Do you have anything to tell, Ryan?
Me? No, I just resonate with that.
Just resonate? Okay.
I just resonate with that.
Do you want to go? I mean,
Do I want to go and talk about 1 in a million? If I could be honest about 1 in a million, in the context of the entire album, I would say this is probably the one I replay the least.
oh, really?
Wow.
If
It's so
I could be that
catchy,
guy.
bro.
I don't mean to be that
All
guy.
right,
I
out
don't
of the
want-
podcast.
I don't mean to change my name to Cash Spicer right now, but 1 in a million, I like it. I like it for what it is, but I don't like it as much as I'm like in love with a lot of the other stuff on this album. But 1 in a million is definitely a very strong track, and it's about the midway point for the album. But I feel like it's probably the tipping point, like the climax. And then from here on out, you think it's going to be like a steep drop-off, but it just skyrockets towards the sky after the song. You know what I mean?
I think the chorus gets stuck in my head like the most, more than any other song off of the album.
Yes.
This one's pretty fucking catchy, like in a lot of ways.
Completely.
Anything else, Moses, or should we go to David?
Yeah, David, what you got?
Hit me. All right. 1 in a million. Yeah, that chorus. Da, da, da. Like the 1 in a million, like that chorus line, like that's so catchy. And then the guitar and everything. It's such a fun and bouncy track. I love it. It's yeah, and it sucks. I kind of do agree with Ryan. Like it's one of the ones I have replayed a little less, but that chorus is definitely something that sticks in your head for, even if you have listened to a little less. It definitely sticks with you a bit.
I remember, yeah, I will agree with that. It may be the one I've listened to less, but I guarantee you, like, it's the first one I can probably play the chorus off the top of my head.
I always go back to that section.
Except Prisoner. I think I remember the chorus to Prisoner.
It's just one word.
Is it?
Prisoner.
There's other words. There's other words.
There's a couple.
Yeah, I know,
Yeah.
but that's the hook though.
I think I found them. I found you. Wait, yeah, there you go.
Not that many words.
So what about that parody catharsis?
Whoa, whoa.
Whoa.
Okay, I didn't get to talk about One in a Million, which I love One in a Million.
Hey.
I think this song is really cool, and I think people need to give it another chance for sure, because I think this one is like probably the most seamlessly they've ever gone from like super heavy to like funky and like poppy. Like the beginning of the song is super heavy. Like you can tell the guitars are tuned down pretty low. Like it's got to be in drop D or something, and then it goes to like one of the catchiest choruses I mean, probably not the catchiest, but like one of the catchiest choruses. And it's so poppy and funky. It's like, this song's really cool. And I think people need to give it another chance and kind of dissect it a little more for sure. Like this one might make one of my favorites. What?
Is it your 1 in a million, Cash? Is it your 1 in a million?
It is my 1 in a million. My 1 in a million is 1 in a million.
No, for this song, I definitely like how there's a little section where Tillian's, it's a bit lighter and funky, and Tillian's just kind of going at it a bit, and then it switches to John. It's really heavy again. Like, if anything, yeah, they really do the funky and poppy and jumping to heavy. They do that a number of times on this album. It's really good. I love that cut.
But I think this is like the peak of that. This is like where they mastered it and they just executed extremely well when they did it.
That was, yeah.
Parody catharsis. Yes.
About that?
No.
So Parody Catharsis is my second favorite song on the album. Zachary Guerin, went on Twitter and mentioned he helped write this guitars for this song. So I was already stoked on it before the song dropped. But yeah, I absolutely love Tillian's delivery, like on the first half of the chorus where he's saying, "Don't want to be a shoulder to cry on." It almost feels like an imitation of a famous pop star, which I'm not going to name. I'll let you guys, to the listeners, you guys can try and figure out who I'm talking about. But
Connect those dots.
What's up?
Connect those dots, man.
No, I'm going to leave it at that. I actually wanted to talk about the outro, guys. We get a taste of DBM1 at the outro. With like those like dissonant chords and John screaming. It takes me back to like the Backward Pumpkin song and Strawberry Andre for sure.
Nice.
What do you guys think?
I didn't notice until someone pointed it out, but yes, that's definitely a reference to Backwards Pumpkin song, another really good track from DBM. But shit, I'm surprised you jumped to the end. If anything,
Well, I had to get that point in, man. I wanted, like, I love DBM1 and I love those kind of chords. So like when I first heard it like I got so stoked. And of course, it's a track with Zachary.
Dude, Zach, I love Zach Guerin. He's great. But since we're already at the end there, what is it? John, incorporates more of that sing-scream part. And if anything, his lyrics, John Mess's lyrics are definitely way more introspective and personal here. Similar to how he was on Instant Gratification and Acceptance Speech, I'd say. What is it? He definitely, he's more vulnerable and talks about, being human, and with those dissonant chords and everything, you really that part really hits. I love it. What do y'all think?
I was very impressed by Tillian's range in this song. Actually, like, I think he hit some really fucking high notes in this one.
He went on Twitter
Nice.
and actually said that the song has the highest notes and the lowest notes in the whole album.
Really?
Yeah, I wasn't sure if it was the highest, but I knew it was like up there for sure. Like I didn't want to stray anyone the wrong way, but yeah, he gets up there for sure.
It's funny. I just said it's not even the highest, but I guess Tillian just debunked me right there. But,
I think he would know. Maybe.
Yeah, he probably has a good idea. Actually, he might not have known, and someone might have told him, like in the studio.
Whatever.
Like I don't know. I mean,
Like,
who knows?
how would you know?
I listen to Tillian
I
more
mean,
than he listens
when
to
they're
himself,
mixing it or
so
something.
Whatever.
What's up?
Actually, so let's see. They'll like they'll go from Tillian to John, and they have the drums to dun dun dun. They have that going on, and then they'll switch to Will Swan coming in with a little segue, and I really like that. It's really
a little
catchy.
pre-chorus for you.
I love that little touch. I think one of y'all definitely brought it up. Don't want to be a shoulder to cry on. I thought that little section was super catchy, and it does kind of play on the guys just want to once the girl just real quick kind of but I don't know, something about it's just really witty, and you just kind of smile at it and be like, okay, Tillian, okay, he's kind of flexing and being a little cocky, again. Wow, I just kind of I love it.
Ha, cocky, get it?
Working on his brand.
For the brand, as Pat McAfee would say.
I will say though.
Go ahead.
But yeah, this is going back to one of my other points. Like I said, I like the little Will Swan segues, and obviously Will Swan is featured, later. But I'd love that they incorporated Will Swan for stuff like that more often. That's all I'd really like to say. Unless y'all have anything else.
No, I think we got to get to Strawberry's Wake. You got anything else to say about that, Ryan? Or
Parody Catharsis, I feel like it's a very good song. It's so good. My recollection. No, actually, I really enjoy the stuff that not only like Tillian brings to the table, because you guys were mentioning like the range of his vocals from lowest to highest. Like it definitely speaks to like his ability as a singer to carry this song to even like greater heights. But the fact that you get like little Will, and like John giving like some of like, I gotta say this about John though. I'm gonna say it on this track. John is constant that keeps Dance Gavin Dance being Dance Gavin Dance, and on this album he definitely carries that weight and lets us know this is a DGD record. This is
Ryan. The happiness stands are gonna come for you after saying that.
Hey,
Well,
it's not like Will
I know
Swan
what you
wasn't
mean.
channeling his best John Mess.
I totally get what you mean, and like I said, it really shows in the outro, because you get like
Yes, that
like
outro.
they like shove DBM 1 into your face, and I love it.
I have 1 in a million stuck in my head now after talking about it.
Oh, you still thinking about that track?
I am.
When you're listening to this, you're thinking about him. Oh, okay.
He's 1 in a million.
Oh, true.
All right. You got anything else to say about Parody Catharsis?
Me, no, I think I'll leave it at that. I'll say it's like a really strong vocal performance from both John and Tillian. And
We didn't really talk about Will.
Oh, David did.
Yeah,
Will gets a nice little pre-chorus in there.
It's cool for sure.
I
I think that
I love
that
all
might
the,
actually make the song too.
all the vocal effects on this album are very nice. Like they
They
teased them
are.
a little bit in Blood Wolf, but on this album they're utilized to their like ultimate like ability.
You're right.
That's praise to Tom Folk, the vocal producer for this record.
Yeah.
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 Shit,
This
probably.
might be the best vocal album.
Yeah, because they play with it, and it's not like it doesn't feel like auto-tuned and out of place. Like they have a role in every song, and in Parody Catharsis, they definitely have a role, and it like helps make the song what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm interested to hear the instrumentals for these though. All these
Oh
songs,
yeah,
like
that'd be...
All right, when are we getting those?
Target, bro. We're waiting on Target.
All right. Does anybody have anything new to add to Strawberry's Wake?
I think it sounds heavier in the context of the album, like a lot of the other songs, but it's a cool song, yeah. Still great.
Like I said, like it's one of I would put it as like one of the other songs that adds glue
Yeah.
to the album. That like I think if like you were to release an album of just Strawberry's Wake, Lyrics Lie, Parody Catharsis, and maybe more songs like that, like it would sound like a total cohesive album, which actually makes you appreciate, the tracks that stand out more, like a little bit more.
I mean,
Because
we
they
were
really change it up.
we were talking about how the singles went together really well in the other episodes. So like that makes a lot of sense that they would go together well. So and they all kind of were glue from what you said. Yeah. So
I'd actually agree on that point. So Strawberries Wake, it definitely reminds me of like, hey guys, we made Summertime Gladness, Headhunter, and it gives a lot of vibes like that. And I really feel like, okay, so John and Tillian in the interview, they're like, so yeah, we did Blood Wolf and Headhunter. That's closer to our older sound compared to what we're gonna do on the album. And I really do feel like it's a glue to it's closer to those singles, and it kind of just keeps things moving to kind of bring you back to those singles and the sound that they were going for on them. So, it's interesting. I don't know. Yeah, what are your takes on that?
Well, I think we pretty much said what we needed to because we discussed.
Yeah, we talked about it before.
Yeah, on the last podcast.
You got anything, Ryan?
Yeah, right.
I'm good. I'm ready to move on to the next track. You know what I'm
Born
saying?
to Fail.
It's some good blue. All right.
Born to Fail. We'll have to do that one next week. There's just not enough time to unpack everything that he said.
Too controversial,
I don't know. What are y'all's takes on it? I'm not a huge Tides of Man fan, so I don't really.
Well, the song, I kind of dig the vibe of the song. It's something different than what we're used to hearing from Dance Gavin Dance. It features Sergio Medina, so
Ooh.
I don't know if that's one of the reasons why it feels so different, like along, with Prisoner. One thing that stands out to me is John's second verse. I think the way he delivers that is pretty cool, and like I dig it. I don't know if somebody else wants to mention this, or I mean, I guess I can mention it. Like a lot of people are taking it as a diss track to possibly Tides of Man and Johnny Craig. They reference a lyric from Knowing That You Already Arrived, which was by Tides of Man, which is Tillian's old band. And to me, the bridge definitely feels like it could be about Johnny, but I'm interested to hear what you guys think.
If I may.
Go for it.
The floor is yours.
I feel, because I've seen things written that say that they wrote this song totally tongue-in-cheek, but it kind of goes in with my calentamiento global kind of thing, where like they have this responsibility. They sit on top of something, and I don't think there's bad blood between Johnny and DGG. I don't think there's bad blood between Tides of Man and that. I see this and the fact that everybody's talking about Tides of Man and Johnny, I see that as like free advertisement for them. And I would definitely, with all the features on this album and everything, I just feel like Dance Gavin Dance is more likely to pick up a fellow band before kicking them down. And if you take it as offensively, I mean, the song's a banger. Like, shit, if I was in a song and this was a diss track, I'd be like, shit, my song's dope.
Well, the interesting thing that you say about that is like if you pay attention to like a lot of the lyrics on this album, like some of them do feel very like tongue in cheek, but like a lot of them can be taken as like them dissing somebody, and I'm not even talking about just Born to Fail, like the end of Parallels, which we'll talk about like later, like
Up next. I believe, yeah.
Like there's a bunch of songs that kind of like feel that way. So, I mean maybe they are throwing shade, but like either way, I'm all for it, man. DGD, keep doing what you're doing. Either keep the peace or start some drama.
And like as far as the Johnny stuff goes, are you done, Ryan? Or
yeah, I'm done, man. Go ahead.
I get what you're saying. Like I don't think there's necessarily bad blood, but I think they do I think like on Purple Rain on DBM 2, I think they kind of acknowledge all the they pretty literally acknowledge like all the hardship that like Johnny put them through. So I mean, like, I don't necessarily think that they like they hate
But at
each
least
other.
we're having fun.
At least, yeah, exactly.
I
And
love that little slew of lines.
or
yes.
like I'm baking a cake for all my friends. Then Johnny comes and he poisons the cake or whatever. I think that's like probably the most literal song that Dance Gavin Dance has ever made is Purple Rain, and
Transparent.
yeah, Transparent for sure. And the way the song works, I don't think that it's like necessarily like that a Purple Rain, that is, that like they're like we hate Johnny, we wish he never been in the band. I think it's more like we're fed up with dealing with him, and like he's done a lot of shitty stuff, and it's just we can't really deal with him anymore. And I think that's the attitude they have with him. And I don't think they would,
I don't think they would publicly say that though.
Yeah, I think it's all.
But like they're not publicly saying that though.
I didn't know if you were going to go
though.
that into detail about it, but
yeah.
I mean, I don't think they're publicly saying that. It's in a song that like, and like Tillian acknowledged that there's stuff about Tides and Man, but he didn't acknowledge anything about Johnny. So
Exactly.
Okay, yeah. So Johnny, he's like,
like I think Johnny might be a little too controversial to just come right
it's all
out about
hearsay,
it.
people.
Yeah, that's true. But
Chill.
Okay, for this song, so what is it? The lyrics are "Give me substance, give me something." Obviously it's from a Tides of Man song. I really do like that line and how he brought it back. And but he says that line, and then he immediately goes in ripping on someone. This is a song you wish you'd wrote before you prove that you're a fucking joke. And he's just going in. So it's like, and I really do feel like it's pointed at someone, but I can't be like, oh, it's this band, this person. And as someone who writes and sings myself, it could just be like, okay, this is a song, this is a chorus where I'm just gonna pour in all my passive aggressiveness just into it. It doesn't have to be pointed at someone. It could just be in general.
It could be a bit of catharsis for sure.
Yeah,
we're going backwards.
Kind of letting go
like that.
Really? Yeah, I'd agree.
I mean,
it could be that. There's a lot of could be's, I'd say.
If I may.
You may.
Usually lyrics, they're very personal to the singer and such, but usually lyrics 9 times out of 10, they're supposed to help the listener reach something. And maybe he's talking to all those people that are just haters that wish they could write like some bangers and some afterburners, but they just can't.
Yeah.
And people are always going to shift and point fingers to who they think they're talking about. But hey, man, maybe it's you.
No.
I mean, he does talk about people asking him to come back and sing for him, but I guess off the diss track stuff, I guess I wanted to say the chorus kind of reminds me of Craig Owen's band Drugs. It kind of has a similar sound to me. Excuse me?
It's a sick reference right there, bro.
Yeah,
hey,
Drugs is pretty good.
Hear, not to pump the brakes or anything, but did you hear Craig Owens wishing?
Yeah, Craig Owens.
Yeah,
Craig Owens wants coronavirus to end so he can announce the tour.
Shit, yeah, bro. I just want to know who the lineup is, dude.
That's what we got to do. We got to end coronavirus. We got to find a vaccine for Craig Owens.
Yes, just for Craig. That we can get Swanfest fucking going, bro.
True.
Agreed.
Dear listeners, please invent the vaccine to coronavirus.
All right. Does anybody have anything to add for
I do.
Sale? Go for it, man.
In the beginning of the song, like you think there's a later song where it's like, oh, this is the secret band song, but no, like this song, it starts off with John just wilding out, and he's saying like, oh, only bangers from now on, only angry mental moans, you fool, I'm rich. Like he's just swinging
on
his
ham
intro here. Like I love it,
It's
I
good.
love it.
David, I have a question for you.
So
would you say that this is John's heaviest performance on the record?
it's definitely one of the heaviest for sure. Like I scream as well, and he's really like pulling from the gut and just really
Say
going.
Hi is in the background going, hey.
Yeah, say hi enters the chat.
Hey.
Not yet. Not yet. We'll get there. Get there.
Secret band featuring Tillian wants a word with you.
Not yet. I want to get to it, but not yet. But
Anything else for this one?
anything else before then?
I guess I would just say right now is like I think this Born to Fail, Parallels, and Night Swing are probably like not really my favorite parts of the album so far. I mean, they're all solid songs, but
Parallels.
I think the songs at the beginning and the end I think are stronger. So they will not be in my top 3.
We're gonna burn cash after this Afterburner review.
See, all right. So Parallels, I know it's polarizing, but no, I like how it starts. It's it's Will Swan being like, all right, guys, we're gonna have this kind of more laid back, funky vibe, with his guitar tone and all that. I like that. And then Tillian, I just kind of imagine Tillian like, in the Joker movie, Joker's like dancing on the steps. I just imagine Tillian just walking around the street, just dancing around. That's like the vibe, the guitar going on.
Oh my gosh, you should direct the music video for it.
No, oh man, no. So
Dude, I agree with you, man. It's like, to me, it's an amazing song. Like,
really,
I love it beginning to end. Like, I think it's a good song to listen to when you're having a bad day and you want to turn it around, or you're just kind of bored at work and you want to kind of get pumped. I think it's one of the coolest intros that the band has ever came up with. Like the intro and that first verse, they give me like kind of like a George Clinton, like funkadelic vibe. It just super
Clinton.
groovy, dude. Super groovy. Like
former president George Clinton.
If you pay attention to the lyrics, it almost feels like it could be like a theme song for social distancing.
Yeah,
like it's weird because it was written, way before all this happened, but like you could easily take those lyrics and kind of like plug it into like how things are right now. Like other than that, I don't know. Tillian hits like a interesting like vocal style. I've seen people kind of mention that it sounds like Freddie Mercury. Like kind of, towards like the end of the song.
The end, you say?
I'd say the middle.
Or yeah, like more in the middle. Like I don't know. What do you guys think about like the way he's singing? Like it's something kind of different.
And like it's more so in the intro. Like what is it? The like I live alone. Like I turn my phone off, and like they have the gang vocals echoing on those lines. Yeah, like
no, but I'm asking about like when he's saying like I just need a little bump, like I don't like he's never really sang like that before, and
okay,
yeah, like I said, people are kind of saying it reminds them of like Freddie Mercury, which I mean I've listened to some Queen, but I don't know them too well to know if that's like a good comparison.
Now that you said that, I'll re-listen to some Queen because, like, I don't know. I mean, like, I did all the classic rock stuff, but
if I could go next, I can echo some sentiments.
All right, go for
Please do.
This track right here, this is the best track. This album should have been called Parallel, bro. Like, hands down, this is the track on the album. This is the best. Like, literally what Moses is saying about like the Queen like style vocals, not only does that like to me does that not like appear on just like the vocal like harmonies he's got in the middle there. I feel like it's structured like a Bohemian Rhapsody, like an Innuendo or like Somebody to Love, where it just keeps progressing and progressing, and like there's no real repetition in the song.
That's true. There's a lot of change ups like within the track. So totally right.
Yes.
It's like a journey. It's an adventure. It feels like a story. It feels like the theme song to like the most epic like JRPG, Toe Jam and Earl video game I've ever heard. It's like it's very epic. It's very grandiose, and it like just the bass alone on this like makes it have so much more of a funk vibe than any like it's like happiness level funk vibes for me. And I just this song right here, like literally, like I will die on that hill saying that this album should have been called Parallels, because this one and Into the Sunset for me were so like outside the box for them that I just crave more. I need more Dance Gavin Dance like this.
Yeah, for
I
sure.
will. I will agree on the different vibes, but actually, there's a line that there's a little section with John. He's saying, "Damn ho, you can rob me. I gave up getting paid." You know, I thought that was a funny line. But then I was listening. Wait a second. That phrasing, that pattern, that rhythm, it's super familiar somewhere. Where is it from? And it took me back to the Fall of Troy album, some of their first stuff. It's what sound does a mastodon make? It's a scream section where Thomas Arac is like, "Tell me that you want me. Tell me that you want to be me tonight." Like,
Interesting.
it's that same like little rhythm. Like,
Yeah, I could see that.
All right.
and I love that.
Dude, speaking of John Mess lyrics, there's a part in the song where he says he's like Rambo mixed with Rodney.
Yeah.
He's talking about, do you think he's referring to Rodney Dangerfield? Or like, what Rodney is he talking about?
Rodney Dangerfield. There is no other Rodney. Can you think of one?
My mind just keeps going to Rodney King. Very tragic, but
Too
but
soon.
I don't think that's I don't think that's it.
Podcast is canceled.
Too sad.
Damn.
That makes the song a lot darker, though, if you think about it in that context.
Yeah, I don't think that's the right Rodney.
I'm not familiar with any Rodneys, but
I guess what I'd say is I think this is probably like one of the oddest songs on the album for sure. Hasn't quite grabbed me yet, but I'm gonna give it some more re-listens based off what y'all said.
Listen to that breakdown, dude.
All right.
And just
It was
try
pretty
to
close
tell
to
me
making the
that
top
shit
3
ain't
for
fire.
me.
Fair.
It's a perfect 10 out of 10 song on a 10 out of 10 album.
it's really fun. A lot of new elements, a lot of, references, or at least stuff that borrows here and there that, you could be like, oh, I heard this from this band, that band, Shoot, for what? Freddie Mercury, The Fall of Troy, a lot of stuff in there. Good track.
Expensive. It's a step in the right direction.
Freddie Mercury and The Fall of Troy. That's probably just Chiodos then.
Oh, great
Because
stuff.
actually,
That's true, though. They got a piano.
Chiodos did say that their influences were like Fall of Troy and Queen. So
Pretty much.
yeah.
They were boy bands with breakdowns, bro. They embraced what they did, and they would probably love the Afterburner album.
Oh, I think Craig Owens tweeted Tillian and said that it was a great album earlier, sometime this weekend.
Sick.
He'd be right.
I want to hug
Great
Craig.
singers. That reminds me of something from back in the day. When I first started getting into like post-hardcore stuff, my friends had already gotten into it, and for some reason they would just go around and they'd say like Johnny Craig, Kurt Travis, Craig Owens, like over and over again to each other, like as a call and response thing. I don't know what the fuck they were doing, but
They were doing like the high-pitched singer, like it's like zip zap zop, like that improv.
Yeah, it was like they're like Craig Owens, Johnny Craig.
No,
I
Johnny,
thought you were going to
Travis.
say they kept saying there's no hardcore dancing in the living room.
Yeah.
There's no
Yeah.
penguins in Alaska.
Yeah,
You
I
can't
was lucky enough to see Chiodos back when they were known as Chiodo Bros.
Chiodo
Played like
Bros.
They played like a church in San Jose, and it was dope, man. I remember just being really into them, and I'm like, damn, I've never really heard anything, that goes like.
Oh, they're
this.
awesome.
Yeah,
They're one of
Shout
my
out
early
Craig
favorites.
Their early stuff was all over the place, man. It was really experimental.
Their
Yeah.
first 2 albums are terrific. I saw them when Craig Owens came back in a Warped Tour. I was like front row. It was like one of my favorite concert experiences.
That was when Thomas Eric was in the band, huh?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, that was monumental. Like I was gonna say, we can't be mentioning Thomas Eric and Chiodos and not mention like
Illuminati.
Because
Yeah.
Chiodos devil.
Oh yeah,
Primo.
dude. At a Warped Tour, Craig Owens totally walked up to me and he complimented my Bane shirt, and I was like,
Oh,
hey,
nice.
shit.
Dude.
Yeah, shout out
Craig Owens,
Bane. Shout out
having
Craig
met him
Owens.
at like Warped Tour and Taste of Chaos, and like I met him when he was in drugs. I've met him like a couple times, and every time he's just a really.
Wait, did you meet him when he was in drugs or on drugs?
I think.
God damn it, Moses.
Great. Now I can't share this in the fucking Craig Owens fucking forum.
He's so fucking good.
And,
All this shit out.
But like, also, Cinematic Sunrise better than drugs.
No.
Yes.
You can't say that.
I can. Cinematic Sunrise is better than drugs.
All right, great. Now we can't share this to Craig Owens.
Why? It's still Craig Owens.
Yeah, but he's not currently in Cinematic Sunrise.
Well, the album that he was on, that was the best
Cinematic
one.
Sunrise.
Yeah, he's currently in drugs, trying to make drugs album.
Drugs is good too, but
But
like
isn't he the only one
Cinematic
on
Sunrise
drugs?
was
in-
really
in
fucking.
drugs?
I'm saying that because I think Cinematic Sunrise doesn't get enough credit. That's my thing.
I agree with you. I definitely agree with you. I'm just saying for promotional purposes.
Promotional purposes. Well, Moses already
Threw
set
him
that
under the
shit to
bridge.
the show,
I know Moses threw our boy Craig under the bridge already.
Yeah.
I'm trying to save face, man.
But like cinema, I mean, like I'm saying that as personal opinion. Like I fuck with Cinematic Sunrise way more than drugs. Like I love Cinematic Sunrise so much.
I fuck with it all. I love it all. It is also amazing. I can only compliment the music I love.
Same here, man. I don't know what Cash Spicer was talking about when he made fun of Craig Owens. You can reach him at Cash Spicer on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter.
No, I don't have an Instagram, but
Damn it. Oh, hey,
Lying.
what about Night's Way?
yeah, Night's
Night's
Way.
Way?
Yeah,
Fuck yeah, I love that Night's Way.
it features our boy Andrew Wells on guitar.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yep.
I would say like all the guitar features on this album, like it really helps like, you know, break up the monotony and create like this new fresh like vibe that like you wouldn't find on like previous records, because the vibe on Afterburner is definitely like its own thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and actually, a lot of the songs that do have guitar features are the ones that kind of stand out, that sound like, you know, like Dance Gavin Dance is trying something a little bit different than what we're used to. And I mean, say hi, I get a little bit of that, but I also kind of get, Night's Way. I get a little bit of that, but I also get a Headhunter vibe from it. Like,
Definitely.
I don't know, especially on the first listen. I also really dig the chorus. It kind of reminds me of Betrayed by the Game, the way that Tillian sings it. What do you guys think?
David, what do you think?
Please repeat that question. I zoned out.
What do you think of Night Sweat?
So, no, I love that intro. It's super heavy and funky at the same time. I love when Will does that, when he adds funk and heaviness at the same time. And then John's obviously, he's flowing over that, making it even better. It's super great. It's great stuff, man. It's another song I need more time with. Shoot,
I agree with that.
What were y'all kind of vibing with?
I definitely agree with that we definitely all need more time to like marinate with this album, but I feel like these hotshot like first vibes, it's like a first impression, and I feel like maybe in time we can revisit this.
I completely agree.
And see how, like, in maybe like a month, maybe down 2 months, 3 months down the line, we revisit it and we get like the marinated opinion, like the marinated opinion we have about like artificial selection and acceptance speech and mothership.
Yeah, or see if like the opinions change.
Yeah,
Definitely.
Oh, yeah.
definitely down to see like if like this one changes over time.
Yeah, I definitely want to give Parallels a second chance after what y'all said, but I don't really have anything to say about Night Sweat.
Amazing song.
But you go ahead.
Well, yeah, I said what I need to about Night's Way.
Amazing song.
I don't know. Did everybody else add in what they wanted to?
I mean, I wanted to echo the whole guitar features like being on point. I totally agree with that. I think some of them make the album for sure.
I feel like Tim, the bass just doesn't, like on previous records, like it's there, but I feel like on this record he definitely has
hear it, man.
Tim's got some great stuff on this one.
Prominent featuring of him, like it helps create this like whole new vibrancy to all the songs that I feel like we weren't getting in previous records. Like bass, like definitely has played a role in Dance Gavin Dance's past discography, but I feel like it was highlighted in a unique way on this record. And like on Night's Way, you definitely get that.
Like this one and DBM 2, I think
Definitely
really killed it on bass for sure.
I feel that.
Shout out to Eric Lodge.
Yeah, Eric Lodge.
Oh,
Eric Lodge.
That's a nice little bass riff right there. Tim needs more credit, man. Shout out.
Yeah.
Actually,
I think this is probably Tim's best album for sure.
Hands down.
Yeah.
That man, a round of applause. Just a moment of applause.
Like, what was the earlier song that Will was rapping on? Was it Parody?
Yes.
Yeah, Parody Catharsis.
Yes, sir.
Little, yeah.
That, he was rapping on because that bass line in there, where the one where Will was rapping, the bass line over that was so nasty. That was so good.
That bass was dummy thick, bro.
Mm-hmm.
So are we ready to move on to Say Hi?
Yo. Say one more thing. The bass on this album has a dump truck ass like a Pixar mom.
Oh yeah, for sure. It gives the album so much heaviness too.
Oh yeah, there's so much weight to the like.
They definitely tuned down a lot of songs for this album. It sounds great.
If Afterburner had an ass, dude, it would be dummy thick just because of the bass alone. Like,
it would be the mom from The Incredibles.
And the guitars. The guitars are really bassy in this album too.
These things were made from Elastigirl, bro. I'm telling you, just fucking ripping it, man.
Hey.
Hi.
Hey.
Say hi.
Hi.
Oh. Oh, guys.
Okay. Speaking of heaviness, this is one of the heaviest songs on the album for sure.
Hands down.
Featuring
Like
Gil?
the whole thing, it's just it weighs you down.
For sure. So yeah, Say Hi. We get a little taste of Secret Band featuring Tillian. I mean, the song even features Martin from Secret Band. Like, I think I saw in a Facebook group, like, some douche was, like, trying to act like, oh, just because it's heavy doesn't make it sound like Secret Band at all. Like, you guys are tripping. I'm like, dude.
Shout him out.
Look at who wrote, the song. Like, it's pretty much the band. So, yeah, no shout-outs to that guy. He said that.
Hearing this, you're going to realize this is Secret Band featuring Dance Gavin Dance.
Yeah, I mean, John Mess and Matt really shine in this song to me, and it includes, like, some of my favorite lyrics in the album.
Yes.
What do you guys think?
Right now,
Definitely.
I can tell you, John Mess's opening lines, you're just in denial and with the wrong one. Love don't make you crippled or enslaved. Like, he's literally calling out toxic relationships and people that stay with people that control them or, just make them feel shitty or less. And I love that. That's a message that needs to go out for sure. Like, I love that. What are some or later in the song where where the Say Hi kind of comes up. John Mess, again, he's like making himself more vulnerable. He's straight up talking about like, oh, sometimes, I want to talk to people and say hi, but sometimes my mind's all fucked up. And when I do say hi, it's just to express how fucked up I am, Like, I really love that vulnerability and expressing that.
That's cool. I feel that. I feel that.
Yeah, you go ahead.
Yeah, I can go. Okay, cool.
Go for it.
I feel like Say Hi. Definitely, we got to give a shout out to Matt Mingus because that boy is going hard. He came to play on this album, and like I would say Hi definitely like is a like monument, and there should be a shrine built of his drum set because he's very like it's just like Say Hi
super
for me.
underappreciated.
Yes,
I
we
will
haven't said one goddamn word about Matt Mingus right now, and I'm just so upset about it that now I brought it back.
I will
Yeah, I
say,
mean-
Matt Mingus really shines on secret band tracks. Like LP2, he's a monster.
Oh, yeah.
Absolute monster. Like they're so crunchy and just they're super tight on all the secret band stuff, especially the heavy stuff. He owns them. You know.
Yeah, super talented drummer. Definitely one of my favorites. He's up there with Derek Bloom.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
gotten better over the years too.
Yeah, and shoot, let's not forget, the other members, of course. You got Tillian. Tillian, usually he's using his higher register, but this song, he's more grounded in his lower one, and I feel like it really matches the more chaotic and dark sound of the song. And I'm glad he took that direction, I have to say.
I love like the oxymoron, like clash, like freaking juxtaposition of like him singing the chorus, like, can't you see that I'm normal? But he sounds like spooky. He's definitely
he really
sound like
does.
someone who normal would say they were normal.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. There definitely isn't a little effect on his voice. Yeah.
Do you think that's like a commentary, like to like fans, like, hey, look, it's a Dance Gavin Dance song on a Dance Gavin Dance record, like for people that are probably scared that it's too experimental and it's different. Like, here's a song that's like the normal Dance Gavin Dance song.
But is it that normal though?
Isn't that normal?
At this point, it's normal for them to have like that secret band-esque song where John takes over, or he's like the star of it, outright.
Yeah.
We're in the meta, man. We're on the meta lyrics right here, man.
I mean,
I feel like it's like commentary in like, I don't know, for being like antisocial and and like kind of awkward. Like maybe it's an anthem for for people who feel that way.
Actually, yeah.
Shout out to the introverts.
Topic shopper.
Dude, like how funny would it be like if in the video they like were dressed like in like white makeup and like heavy black eyeliner? Like if
they were
was a single
gonna do a death metal video
or like Motionless in White or something.
Motion.
Just them trapped in like a very like dead forest, just like, look, we're normal.
Near the fjords.
But no. So like, you mentioned that, Tillian sounds a little spooky. And, there's even, I think there's a vocal edit where like he kind of cuts
so
off.
does John, honestly.
John is wearing it. So this is the album cover or even the promotional art where John's wearing the horns and the bloody eye. This song, this is where it came from. It had to be. Because towards the end especially, John will be screaming and like there's one line where it'll cut off and it's like it kind of something like that. And to me, it sounds like a heartbeat, like, or it sounds like okay, it's hard to explain, but like it sounds like a heart kind of giving out or like trying to keep going, and it really drills in this is like it's a person turning demonic, and obviously like half dead or not fully human. And you hear that at the end of the song where he has that drawn out scream where it goes high pitched and then a low and then back to normal again. Like I
thought he was just catching his breath, man, and you're here like on some Walking Dead stuff.
No. This John is outing himself as the devil. He tries to play it off.
He's Gavin.
I'm just an awkward human, but no, this guy is just straight up the devil.
Oh yeah, I guess that picture. I know what you're talking about now. The one where he has the horns and the blood in his eyes.
Yeah.
No,
and I love
the devil.
You just met the devil.
I need the devil. I haven't met John Mess yet.
You got anything else, David, or?
I just if you listen to this song, this is probably my top song off of Afterburner. It definitely.
Fair.
It's one. It's if it's not the best, it's up there.
Definitely.
I guess it's my top 3. I love it. Everything.
I think this song is like great from start to finish. Like it's so tight and just like, damn. This is like 100% like they got everything right in the whole song. What else was I gonna say? I think it has probably one of the coolest breakdowns on the album too.
Yes, I was gonna get that too. Yes. Where John John's alliteration. I need reminded, recognize it, thinking, doesn't know. Another night, another night alone. That section, it's kind of the highlight.
Yeah.
Well, it's like the breakdown section that one would probably repeat a lot. Well, at least for me, at least. I'll speak for myself. But no, that breakdown is super
great. It's like it's got to be like the best, if not one of the best, if not the best on the album for sure. And I think we got to get to the best part of the song, the haze. Let's give our takes on those. No stone unturned on this album, on this song.
Yeah, I already touched on it a little bit. But yeah, what do you think on that?
Ryan's making noises.
Oh, that's the very end.
The say highs are great, but the transitions into nothing shameful.
Well, wait, do you have anything to say about the haze though?
Yeah, they transition
when
into
he says hi, I mean, I really felt that,
Yeah. Dude, that shit. It's, I mean, like we've already made it into a meme by now, I'm pretty sure, but
we did, and it did pretty well.
Mm-hmm. Nothing else about that?
I think we're ready to move on to next.
Yeah.
Best transition on the album.
Yeah, exactly. Because at the end, it's like, and you can tell that's like Tillian. And it's like, okay, John, I let you flex. And then they jump right into Nothing Shameful, where Tillian's just going on cylinders.
Nothing Shameful is going to scare me one of these days. I'm going to have it on shuffle or something, and it's just going to, like, come out of nowhere.
See, a lot of DGD songs, like, they'll just, I don't know how, it works with the editing thing, but they'll have a song just snap instantly, and it's all in your face instantly. It kind of scares you, almost, basically.
I can tell you how it works with the editing. You just take out the, y'all, anything else? You have anything to say about Nothing Shameful? I'll come back to it in a sec.
Yeah, well, Nothing Shameful is actually my favorite song on the album. It's just it
might be mine too, honestly.
It's a really beautiful song. It features Andrew Wells, doing a little verse, or should I say a big boy verse. In the song, and it also features Sergio Medina on guitar. Like having both of those features on there, like it really makes me stoked on the new Idola album, which I don't know when that's gonna drop, but I'm really looking forward to it because it's going
June, July, I heard.
Yeah, it's gonna feature John Mess on it, so
his heaviest release.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting, but. Yeah, back to the song. It's my favorite. It's, like kind of like almost desperate for love like vibe to it. And I mean, like, who hurt Andrew? That's what I want to know.
Oh, dude.
He says, I'm just a stone, slinking, broken and numb. Like, oof, that's heavy.
Yeah.
What do you guys have to say about that?
Andrew is beautiful.
You just like the beard.
Yeah, I can't lie. I wish he's an inspiration. Oh no, Andrew. I love his addition to the song.
Definitely.
Do you have anything else to say on Andrew? Because there's another song, section that comes to mind.
I guess that was a point I was gonna make about it. Was like I really love Andrew's parts, and I love it when he's on Dance Gavin Dance songs, because Idol is kind of dense to just be listening to on an everyday basis, but like I love Andrew's voice, and so like this really, it kind of lets me get my Andrew Wells fix without having to like dive into like Idol's like discography, which Idol is really cool and stuff, but it's like I don't necessarily want to listen to like that every day. You know what I mean? Where I'll listen to Dance Gavin Dance every day.
You don't want to get sad every day?
Yeah, I don't want to get sad. I don't want to have to think about the music too hard sometimes.
I mean, all those thoughts you think don't even matter.
I feel like it's a great song. I feel like it's like a testament to Andrew Wells' ability because his range displayed in Evaporate is totally different than on this track.
Definitely.
Which I feel is more in tune with his Idola tune. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
And I feel like it's a really strong song. It's definitely it feels a little more softer than a lot of the songs on the album. I feel like some of it's very ethereal, very angelic, and it gives you lots of fees, lots of fees. But it's a great track. I would rate it very high on the songs that I would definitely hit replay on because there's just so much to like get out of this song because it's not just like your run of the mill like lower down tune little slow down jam. It's definitely got some meat to it.
Actually,
and some heart for sure.
The meat of the heart.
I ate a heart before.
It really punches you. If anything, there's a section where like Will, he has this little riff, and like the chords afterwards, and John's like, riffing over it. Like,
How did that riff go again? Can you give me that riff one more time?
That section, that little section just uplifts me, and I don't know. There's just certain chords and little riffs.
Was that the intro to Prisoner? I'm just kidding.
Check out my cover on Dance Gavin Dance. Yeah, just completely. Yeah, I'm just gonna do covers where I sing out every single instrument.
You should start an acapella group.
That'd be dope.
Yeah.
Dance Gavin Dance acapella group.
Yeah.
Ryan will scream for you.
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
I'll scream acapella. Yeah, that could be the drums.
I meant you would do the John parts, but that works too. But
You said acapella. That would mean there was no instrumentals.
well, I said you do the John parts, but
You would still need the vocals.
why would you
for
scream the
acapella.
drum part? Why would you think you'd scream the drum part?
He's singing. He's acapellaing all the instruments.
All right, fair enough. Whatever.
That needs to happen.
Honestly, this might be like the most beautiful guitar part like in quite a while for Dance Gavin Dance.
Which one? The part I was referencing, or another one?
Just the whole thing, like all the guitar, like it's really pretty guitar in this song.
Yes.
Nothing shameful about these guitar riffs. You know what I mean?
Nothing shameful at all.
Absolutely not. I'll fight anyone that says differently.
You know what? The only thing you'll be ashamed of is how sad you feel afterwards.
Sad that way.
You got anything, Moses?
No, I pretty much said everything I've needed to say. I feel like
David,
like
Ryan.
I said,
Oh, I'm good. I'm ready to move on to.
Well, I got one more
I'm
thing.
ready.
I was just making sure y'all are good.
You have one more, you said?
Yeah, you got anything, David?
No, go ahead. The floor is yours.
All right. The false ending. Whenever Andrew Wells' parts ends and it comes back in, that is really awesome right there. It's just like our episode 2 of our podcast, basically. But
like bigger than life. It makes the song bigger than it is, and it's
the Tillian auto tune. That sounded really good.
Oh yeah.
Really awesome ending.
I really do like how they loop back to that.
The beginning part. Which
that opening is really contagious.
I will say the opening, I kind of disagree. I'm not a huge fan of the opening. I mean, like, I like it, but it's not, it wouldn't be something I would usually gravitate towards, but it works so well when it comes back in the song and it makes me like it is the thing. So,
So what you're saying is you wouldn't ask somebody's daughter out to it.
dude,
I guess maybe I would let the song play out a little bit, then ask someone's daughter out.
Well, yeah, because at the beginning of the song, Tillian's literally saying, take. All you do is take. So,
that's another great point, David.
dude, I love it, and that mixed with the chorus just kind of gives it like a pop punk feel, and they've kind of done a pop punk feel before with Story of My Bros, but that's more of kind of like a happy bro-y pop punk song. This is more of like your serious, like lovey-dovey about a breakup, like pop punk song. So I really dig it.
It's a great track. Top 3.
Yeah, I'm ready to head into the sunset. How about you guys?
Into the sunset.
Guys.
Oh man,
The sunset.
I love this song.
Track.
It's so good.
I think it's the perfect closer.
Yeah.
Like it's such an interesting vibe. Like just going into the intro, it almost sounds like kind of like a dreamy, like 50s doo-wop like type of song.
Did you like that, Moses? Based off your
What's up?
Did you like the intro?
Yeah, I really did. It like kind of reminded me of like
The Beach Boys?
I guess like the Beach Boys. I do like doo-wop music. But yeah, I'm not that familiar with the Beach Boys because they're more like goofy. They're like more of the goofy
Take
side
that
of
back.
that kind of music.
You just don't, I guess you don't like surfing.
It reminds me of like Boy Meets World, where they're like hanging out at like the diner or whatever, like in like the later episodes. But then
you probably have fonder memories of Boy Meets World than I do.
Oh, probably, yeah.
But I did like Boy Meets World when I was a kid. Excuse me?
Age gap. Yeah.
I mean, like, I remember watching Boy Meets World. I liked it a lot, but I don't really remember too much about it.
Yeah, once you get to the Johnny, like, Frank part, it like, the song takes, like, almost like a dramatic turn, and it becomes, like, this really interesting, like, vibey song that kind of reminds me of a band called Idiot Pilot. I don't know if you guys ever heard of that band, but definitely should check them out, and I think you'll be able to kind of agree with me. And as far as the lyrics go, like, it kind of like, it almost kind of sounds like a love song, but like if you pay attention to the lyrics and even Will's rap verse, it's like all about like the world coming to an end. It's just kind of interesting.
About the lyrics, there's two things I guess I wanted to talk about. One was stick around and get stuck with the end, John's part. That kind of that I think might have been a throwback to was it to Three Wishes when he says multiple stab wounds. I don't know if anyone else made that connection. Yeah.
How so?
You ever been stuck with a knife?
Stuck around, get stuck.
Dream.
Which I guess that kind of reminded me of Happiness, because people say Happiness was the album was supposed to, the track listing is supposed to be in reverse, because I don't remember why, but maybe this.
It told the story.
Is similar. Yeah, I told the story,
actually,
but
I saw that post.
Zachary Guerin said that like he wanted a Self-Trepanation to be like the opening song, which, I mean, that kind of makes sense.
That would be a cool opener.
It would be such a cool opener.
Tree Village was pretty awesome.
Also a great opener.
Yeah.
That was
it's a hard argument to make, man.
So should have been the opener, but that's just me.
What?
I guess the other thing about the lyrics, I thought it was
announced that
I
he
thought it
is
was funny. Wait, what? What?
All right, slow down. Who's talking?
What were you saying, Ryan?
I said David just said that Happiness wasn't that great and Tree Village wasn't that great of an opener, so I guess
Tree Village is good.
Canceled.
I feel like Happiness leaves more to be desired. Is my take.
I'm about to burn this bridge, man.
About to burn this podcast to the ground.
I like this. Tree Village, I feel like it should have been like second, third, or fourth track. Like I said, NASA is like the defining song, like that. It just feels like
NASA.
For like.
I mean, NASA's cool, but
do you make, man? What excuse?
That's Death Star.
Yeah,
dude, that's like that's the epitome of like Swancore. When I think of Swancore, I think of that opening. But anyway,
Alex English. Yeah, let's go.
All right,
Let's get
next
back
time
to the sunset.
next time we record the episode, don't tell Dave.
Oh.
I'm kidding, bro. I love you. I'm totally kidding. I just had to make that joke.
I thought it was funny when Will said when he was talking about cutting the Zans too.
Oh yeah, like on a spaceship, like
on a spaceship, yeah. Because
I just found it funny when
I mean it is kind of a throwback to like the type of genre they were kind of the genres they were experimenting on the song too. So like that SoundCloud rapper kind of sound. So.
Yeah. But no, I wanted to go back to the intro real quick. But no,
go for it.
you know, you listen to it and it's like, oh, this is a slower, you know, definitely like, okay, interesting beginning. But then you look at the title, Into the Sunset, and you're just listening to that into the context. And I'm like, literally, like one of the first few times I listened to it, I was like, yo, this shit's beautiful. What the fuck? Like, I even got emotional to it, to be honest.
Yeah, I
Like,
kind of did too, honestly, when I first heard it.
I was like, yo, I'm
Like,
imagining
damn.
the sunset with this jamming out to that intro, and then
That's why it became my third favorite track, man. It definitely gets you.
I think this is going to make my top 3.
This is a grower, I'd say.
About the Into the Sunset part, like the name of the song, like in the beginning, like because Into the Sunset reminds me of like old Western kind of Westerns, things like that. And then the beginning is like a 50s sound. And so it kind of starts you off with a classic thing, but it's also like, you know, it's the album closer, and it pushes to like a whole, like it pushes like the genre like 70 years into the future.
Yeah, I found it interesting. Like usually the last song is like more like, oh, we're gonna go out with a bang, you know, the big final song.
Well, I mean, that's true, but this is also like, I think it kind of does go out the bang, because it kind of ends with the stick around get stuck part, but also I think it's like a really cool, just like just mellow ended, kind of like how they ended DBM1.
It really provides closure for the album.
Definitely.
Okay, I can agree with that. All right.
And honestly, I kind of hope they do more songs like this. I wouldn't want a whole album like this, but I kind of want them to do a few more songs like this. Whole album would be probably too much, but.
So this song, I really appreciate the instrumentals and the vibes it gives. There's really some beautiful, very vibey moments, and I can't appreciate them enough. And so, you know, they have to feature Bill Murray, and of course you get Will Swan with his own verse, and they both kind of play with this, you know, trap, you know, rap sound, you know, like you said, a SoundCloud rapper kind of thing. Just to be honest, I wasn't the biggest fan of the Bill Murray feature, but I feel like Will really brought it back, and you know, at least, you know, if they were going for that SoundCloud rapper thing, I think Will really killed it, you know, especially with his flow over it and his lyrics. I don't know. What were y'all's takes on that?
Well, okay, going back to the Johnny Frank Bill Murray feature, I actually kind of like, it didn't really stand out, but I actually dig it because I've really been into like the newer, almost SoundCloud like emo rap stuff. Like not like, I mean, I like you know, Trippie Redd and Lil Uzi Vert, but there's like another subgenre within that genre where it's like people are like sampling Census Fail and like Underoath songs and kind of singing over them. And
Lil Lotus.
Yeah, Lil Lotus.
Who I actually knew. He's from Dallas.
Yeah, he's from Texas.
Yeah, I met him a few times.
That's funny because I was actually gonna throw him on our list of what I've been listening to. Cause,
oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah,
he's a cool guy.
He just signed to Epitaph, and
yeah,
they re-released like all his old stuff that was only on SoundCloud, because he couldn't get like the samples cleared and whatnot. It's on Spotify now. So, but anyways, back to Into the Sunset.
Actually, I think I'm friends with him on Facebook. But let's keep going. I think they did everything on the song correctly. And there's so much to it. Like, there's so much to unpack in it, and I think they did it all wonderfully well. You go ahead if you want.
Did we hear from Ryan?
No.
Shoot.
I'm my feelings on Into the Sunset. I'm gonna have to change my top 3. I'm gonna have to push out Born to Fail and replace it with possibly one of the most precious tracks on the album. Cause
definitely do it.
Because Bill Murray, like, seriously, I feel like he pushed like DGD to push this envelope, and I feel like this song is like an amalgamation of just like all kinds of like DGD, because like at one point, like, there's this, like, it sounds like a sample, a little bit of a guitar piece. It's kind of got like that Young Robot kind of like exposed feel to it a little bit, and like there's just so much to it and I feel like with the experimentation that this song does, like Cash saying like he wouldn't want a whole album sounding like this, and
But like,
this and
I'd be down to have more songs though. I'd be down to have more songs like that, but not a whole album.
I would be down to have a whole album like this and parallels. If it was just like this parallels, I'd be buying that album every week, every vinyl.
Can I add one more off-topic kind of thing? I mean, that's kind of related.
Go for it.
So like on Facebook, like a lot of people like to make these posts of like, what cover would you like to hear from Dance Gavin Dance? And I've always said
I excel at those.
Wait. So I've always said that I'd love to hear them cover Without Me by Halsey, because I feel like Tillian could really like take that song to a new level, and I'd like to hear him sing it. But Bill Murray came out with like a EP, and they actually cut like, it's like a cover EP, and he does a Halsey cover with Tillian, and it's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
It's not Without Me, it's Nightmare, but like either way, like you kind of get, well, at least I get that kind of vibe that I was looking for, which was like really interesting that I kind of called that out, and it kind of came into fruition.
I guess the other thing I want to say, I think this is probably Will's best rap verse since like Spooks, I would say.
Power to
Power to the People was good, but Spooks is like
that's the first one though. I shouldn't say that was his best one, because that was just his first one.
But that was a good one though. He had really cool flow on it.
I would say Eagle vs. Crows is better than all the previous ones, but this one definitely takes the cake.
Yeah,
I can agree with that.
Eagles versus Crow is kind of polarizing, because even I didn't care for it, but it kind of grew on me, kind of deal.
Yeah, I kind of feel the same way, David.
I liked it from the beginning. It's such a cool little vibe. Like it's almost like I don't know, Will's doing some kind of trippy like little guitar riffs, and like you could tell Tillian's really having fun with the song and like the melody that he sings, and you get a great rap verse. On
Eagles verse, you mean?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Eagles verse is honestly underrated. I love that one.
For sure.
Agreed.
Are we done with Into the Sunset?
Yeah, I think we got the whole album.
Sunset.
Somehow we got this whole thing done in a day. All right. Who would like to go first?
Well, somehow we were able to listen to other music other than
that's true too.
The new Dance Gavin Dance.
Yeah, I mean, we did have a whole week since our last recording.
True that.
Just kidding, we didn't. But...
Yeah, I guess I'll go first if you guys
go for it.
So The Used dropped a new album, and
I'm gonna check that out.
Yeah, I got to be honest. Like, I kind of stopped following The Used after In Love and Death. Like, I really loved that album and their first album, and like to me, I don't know. I kind of felt like they might have lost their stride. I know Ryan feels differently, but for whatever reason, I decided to check out the new album, and it had some really great moments. And I think what really wanted me to check it out is that there was some features on there. Like there was a song that featured Mark Hoppus, a song that featured Caleb Shomo, and another feature from the singer of Let Live. I can't remember his name.
Yeah.
But yeah, the songs, like they were kind of underwhelming. Like they kind of felt too like radio rockish, but like there was a couple of like hidden gems as far as like moments in some of the songs. But there was one song that was really great that stuck out to me. And now like the name loses me. I think it's called like Obvious Cliche or something like that, and actually features Travis Barker on drums. And like I mentioned before, I've been listening to like Little Lotus's old stuff. He's kind of like a SoundCloud rapper from Texas, but he's like such a great vocalist. Like if you listen to him, like he sounds like and he actually has been in like kind of post-hardcore emo bands, but like I haven't been able to find any that still have music on YouTube. But you should check him out. He has a song that samples 187 from Census Fail that's pretty cool.
He used to work at Paxson. I think I bought jeans from him once.
Is that was your whole story?
That was it. Yeah, but that was
Shout
no.
out
That
Nick-
was fun. I mean, I've also hung out with them too.
Staying.
I mean, we used to like chill at the mall and stuff. I hung out with them probably like 2 or 3 times, but yeah, I think it was funny buying jeans from him. And now he's like he's like the next big thing. Like, it's funny is because like he's like really pushing the envelope of music right now, and he's gonna blow up.
He really
should blow up.
is. Like,
Yeah.
I think he's kind of picking up the torch that like Lil Peep dropped off after he died.
Exactly.
Kind of like the like more the closer to like our emo
Yeah.
with SoundCloud
And like
rap.
Little Peep was cool, but I think he definitely needed some to be refined some. So
Yeah, I mean, I like
it's good.
I actually really liked Lil Peep's first stuff, like his last songs with Schema Posse, and then his first stuff with when he joined Goth Boy Clique. But like everything that's been released, like after he died, like I feel like there was a reason why that music didn't get released, and now, like I don't know if people are releasing it just to kind of make a profit out of, somebody dying, but like it just doesn't come near to like the stuff he was putting out when he was still alive.
I hear that.
But yeah. Other than that, there's this band called Static Dress, and they're really fresh. They're from Australia, and when I say fresh, there's like brand spanking new. I think they only have like 4 songs on Spotify right now, and I think the first song that they released really captured my attention. It kind of gave me like a old like early 2000s post-hardcore vibe, like maybe stuff like Finch and Hope's Fall or Blindside.
Oh, dude, Finch is great.
Yeah, they're definitely worth a listen to. And then I've been listening to Sylar's second album. They're this band from New York, and I actually wanted to mention them because I know you guys are huge Limp Bizkit fans, and I feel like they kind of have a similar vibe where it's like almost like a updated version of that kind of rap metal sound. I mean, there really isn't rapping, but like the cadence of the main vocalist, who he like kind of screams or talks aggressively like Fred Durst does. But they blend that with like some beautiful like choruses. Like their guitar player is a really great singer, and he actually released a song that's like a reggaeton song, like it's just him over it, and it was actually produced by the vocalist of the band. Yeah, so definitely check out Sylar.
How do you spell that? That sounds
Sylar. And full disclosure, like
Wait, Sylar?
Yeah.
Have you ever watched the show Heroes?
Yes. And
Is that
there's
the
a Sylar there.
Oh, it's almost. All right, never mind. But
I don't think it's a reference to that guy because they pronounce it Sylar.
Well, and you mentioned that like Little Peep and stuff like that. See, that's not really my speed personally, but I've had like a girlfriend that was into that kind of scene and all that. Like, what's some kind of songs that could it might steer me towards that way?
Well, and I'll add them to the playlist, but off the top of my head, I think White Tea is like a very great song. It was probably his first song that he released when he joined this group called Goth Boy Clique, and it actually samples Such Great Heights by Postal Service. Have you heard that song?
I have not.
I
you
think
should
if
definitely
you heard
listen
it, you
to
would
that
know
one.
it from like a commercial or something. It's a huge like indie rock song. But that's a good listen.
All right.
He has a song called Beamer Boy that's really good. I don't know. There's a lot of good stuff on there. Like he collaborates a lot with this artist called Wicca Phase, who used to be one of the singers of Tiger's Jaw, who was like one of my favorite bands. So like like there's actually a really interesting mesh going on within like the newer emo scene with the SoundCloud scene where like art like actual people that were in bands are making a transition over into that music.
That's great.
Shoot. Got anything else, Moses?
No, that's pretty much it for me.
All right. Who wants to go next?
Honestly,
Or David, yeah, go for it, David.
Yeah, go for it.
yeah, it's mine's shorter. For the past number of days, I've just been listening to Afterburner, man. Just trying to get my takes, let it sink in.
Same.
Afterburner, never heard of that band.
Wow.
like
Afterburner, the album from ZZ Top and then from the 90s.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh. Well, that landed.
What about that?
Put it on the playlist.
No.
All of Afterburner on the playlist. That's
The
the
whole
treat.
ZZ Top albums.
Oh God, again? You gotta listen to it again.
We're gonna be reviewing Afterburner by ZZ Top next week, just so y'all know.
All right.
Technically Swancore.
They invented it.
Yeah.
Wait, are y'all serious?
Do you want to know why Andrew Wells has a beard? It's because of ZZ Top.
Matt Mingus too, bro.
Matt Mingus too.
I missed the Mingus stash of Happiness 8 Days, honestly. To be honest. Like, the beard's cool, but I don't know. I'm the
Thing is, I didn't say Matt Mingus because I don't think about him with a beard. I think about him when he was like emo looking.
DBM.
Back in the DBM days.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's how I see him in my head.
Fashion mullets and rat tails.
Just like
man.
I imagine Jesus, baby Jesus, or whatever. Ricky Bobby reference.
All right. So you didn't listen to anything else, David?
Not really. Just after.
Do you have any good Afterburner takes?
Wait, what?
Do you have any good Afterburner takes?
Yeah, because we didn't spend 2 hours.
Oh yeah, I know. This album's a banger. It's more than just a return to form or anything like that. There's a lot of this. It's great. I do want to say that Acceptance Speech was probably one of my more favored Tillian albums, but Tillian is honestly better than ever on here. I love him here. Like,
damn, I'll check it out.
But no, this is good shit. I love Afterburner. Check it out if y'all haven't. But yeah, that's my take.
All right, Ryan.
I've been listening to lots of the Sounds and the Bravery, just like their whole discographies. I'll just put them on in the background while I'm doing other stuff. Other than that, I've been digging Stolas. I've been listening to Bellwether a lot. That shit's dope. I love that song. Other than that, my homeboys in Of the Fallen just released a song. It's really cool. You guys should check that out. Aeons of Doubt. I believe that's what it's called. But other than that, no, like Afterburner has been on repeat a lot too. I've spent a lot of hours on that.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, though, no, just the Sounds, the Bravery, Of the Fallen.
All right.
Stolas here and there just to spice it up. You know what I mean?
You done?
Yeah, I got nothing else.
All right. Sounds good. All right. So, obviously Afterburner, like 20 times probably now. I also listened to a lot of like the other Dance Gavin Dance stuff just to compare like some of my favorites. But besides that stuff, one of the bands I left off our last episode that I've listened to lately is this band called The Slits, which was an old girl like new wave punk band from like late 70s, early 80s. They do a really cool cover, Heard It Through the Grapevine, but also do a lot of other cool stuff. No Doubt, I've had them stuck in my head a lot lately.
Dude, No Doubt had some amazing deep cuts.
Dude, I love No Doubt. No Doubt's great. You know what's fucked up? I don't know if my girlfriend listens to this. Actually, I don't think she does. But she has no idea who No Doubt is. But I mean, she knows who Gwen Stefani is, and I just every time I remember that, I just like go on a rampage. I'm not
That's
like a literal
David
rampage.
not knowing who Jimmy World is.
Yeah, it's pretty much the same thing, actually. Like even if you like because they have hits and shit. Like you should know it based off of that. After I've also been listening to a lot of Mozart lately.
Really?
Yeah.
Cultured fellow over here.
I mean, I used to play violin, so I do listen to classical music from time to time. But yeah, Mozart's cool. I wasn't really a huge fan of Mozart because
Man, Mozart had no breakdowns. Boring.
that wasn't until Beethoven. But I guess I didn't really like the Baroque sound too much. But I guess I've been coming around to Mozart some lately, and I've been listening to Bill. I gave Bill Murray a more thorough listen so I could talk about him for this episode. And then last night I saw a really funny tweet about the Misfits, so I had to listen to them all night. And
Nice.
That's about it.
Definitely.
Good shit.
So, well, I guess that's the episode, guys.
That wraps it up here for
That
us
wraps it
today.
up.
Team Podcast.
Good shit, y'all.
All right. My name is Cash Spicer. You can reach me at Cash Spicer on Twitter. Hit us up on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Just look up Demo Team Podcast and should be there. Got some really great memes coming out. Let's go to David.
Oh shoot, yeah, you can find me on Facebook, David Pottinger. Same with Instagram, pottinger.david. Yeah, I do have a Snapchat. That guy, the DATBLA.
You said it was deleted.
Well, I undeleted it. You know, I know people.
Send
It's
them that
back,
D.
man.
Send them
Can
that
you
D.
undelete a Snapchat?
I mean, if you know the right people like me, you know.
Do you know Snapchat people who own Snapchat?
I mean, yeah, my dad's like the owner of Snapchat, you know, and Xbox too, you know. I guess I know people.
He's gonna ban you, bro. You better be nice to him.
Bill Gates. Your dad's Bill Gates.
No, he's my grandpa. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
Ah,
Your granddad.
exactly. Like I guess I know people, guys.
All right.
I'm almost as cultured as Tillian, but but yeah.
You read some Fountainhead?
But yeah, my Snapchat, that black guy 99. That's me. But shoot, what up with you, Ryan?
You can find me on Instagram, Ryan // You can add my band on Instagram, Stay Still Official. We're on Facebook, Stay Still Music.
Stay
You can
Still's
find
lit.
me. Yeah, thank you. We had Stay Still, 2 slashes in the middle between Stay and Still. So yeah, that's about it from me. Moses, how about you, buddy?
Well, you can find me on the gram. My handle is ThruBingMo. You can also hit us up on the Demo Team Podcast Instagram. I'm usually the one replying, so shout out to the people that have been DMing us on there. What's up? I forgot to add one more thing. Travis Scott, like he released a new single, and while with Kid Cudi, and while the single was kind of underwhelming, they first played it on like Fortnite, which is yeah, which actually was kind of cool for like, I don't know, a concert within a game. Like there was just a lot of trippy visuals toward the end. With that being said, like I play Fortnite sometimes and I'm pretty good. So add me. My username is Skyhook.
Is that a reference?
The O's with zeros, and there's an X in the beginning and at the end. So Skyhook.
Is that a Dance Gavin Dance reference?
It is.
Cool.
My favorite song off of
not really that cool because you
off of
play
self-titled.
I'm not gonna get hate on it.
A massive audience of Fortnite will destroy you, Cash.
That's true, but
No, I mean Fortnite is pretty cringe, but
Fortnite's fun until a 5-year-old kills you.
it happens
That
way more than like too often, man. But they're
That's all
cheating.
that happens.
They're cheating. I know
Lag switch.
it. I know it.
But I guess that's it for us here today at the Demo Team Podcast. Anything
Hit us up
else
on our
anybody got to
socials.
say?
Thank y'all.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, we've had a really awesome first week. Like, we really appreciate all y'all. Y'all are our OGs so far. So
Thank you.
keep listening to us.
Hope you enjoyed.
And ask us questions on our socials. Now that we've taken care of this behemoth, we will probably, or behemoth, not behemoth, but we'll we'll answer y'all now. We'll take some questions every now and then. All right. Love y'all. I'm gonna go eat dinner. Y'all have a good night.
Peace out.